Ever since I saw the movie Heather, I have been keen to visit the Sun Temple at Martand. It is only later that I discovered that my favorite song, picturized on Sajeev Kumar and Suchitra Sen, Tere Bina Zindagi Se Shikwa To Nahi, from Andhi, was also picturized in this location. It's one of the most majestic architectural relics of antiquity in our country. Built on a high plateau, it would have once had a sweeping view of the whole Kashmir Valley in the direction of the sun setting behind the Pir Panjal mountain range. The village of Martand was built on a very high level by, it is said, by Raja Lalit Aditya, the ruler of Kashmir, for nearly 36 years in the 8th century. He built a new city, splendid in every respect, on the top of this plateau. He also built a grand, majestic temple to the sun god, whose stone pillars are said to have been ornamented with jewels, pearls, and gold. Their height was such that they were beyond limits, and it is said that if anybody looked up towards the sun temple, their tiara would fall down on the ground. A very common refrain to show the transient nature of monarchy or temporal monarchy and the powers of the god. At the entrance, as in every temple, are the images of the goddesses Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati, who are said to purify the visitor into the temple. These are carved into the face of the temple in the front, on the right side. This temple was destroyed by Sikandar Shah, the sixth Sultan of the Shah Miri dynasty of Kashmir in the 14th and 15th century. What remains of it today is the central and rectangular building surrounded by a quadrangle and rectangular colonnades facing inwards. The length of the outer side of the wall is 90 yards and that in the front is 56 yards. It is the largest peristyle in Kashmir. The remains of 3 gateways through which one would enter can be seen. Of course, we entered through the main gateway. The first sight of the Sun Temple is awe-inspiring. One enters into the courtyard and the first thing you see is the kund. The temple has suffered destruction not only at hands of Sultan Sikandar but also at the hand of nature, because subsequent earthquakes have also weakened and shaken the building, and its height has been diminished. There were 2 side compartments to the temple, as you can see in this building, which are now detached, probably due to an earthquake. The similarity of the sculptures and the relief done on the side wings lead us to believe that they were once part of the main temple and would have been joined by a flying buttress to the upper side of the center, built particularly at the remains of the part of the enblature projecting from the left of the left wing towards the center building, which seems to countenance such an opinion. There is an inner chamber of about 5 yards in length which has undressed walls. This is where the rays of the sun would have first come down to worship the sun god. There should have been a pyramidal roof or a shikhar and buttresses on the side. All these are no longer there. What we see are stones piled up in a heap all around. We visited it in the mid-afternoon with the sun high on our heads and the birds chirping all around. At the back, I saw the sacrificial altar where offerings to the gods would have been made. Let me take you for a round of the perimeter where you will see 365 statues of gods and goddesses for each day made on the plinth. And from there, we turn around and go towards the place where the sun god himself has been carved on the wall of the Sun Temple. There are some other very beautiful carvings on the side. One of them of a figure playing a flute. There are a lot of loose stones lying around, and this is said to be sculptures of Lord Ram and Lakshman. What we see here is a plate of what the temple would have looked like. This is from 1870, Letters from India and Kashmir, written by J. Digweed. This and the first two plates have been taken from Wikipedia.